There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Welcome to Sci-Fi Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm Steve.
And I'm Shawn Fangirl S, and today we'll be discussing episode 4 of season 3 of Resident Alien. Okay, this episode, I mean, I know we're going to talk about it, but oh my god.
Yes.
It was like, I'm watching this episode, and it just kept getting, like, weirder and funnier, and I'm just like, help me.
Yes, yeah, a bug and a bird.
Well, we have ratings news this week.
Yes, we do. This episode brought in a 0.11 rating in adults 18 to 49 with 1.018 million viewers. Finally back up to 1 million viewers, so that's awesome.
Yes, it is. And yet, it still doesn't make sense where we fall in the rated area. It makes me crazy. I will never understand this. Nope. But it's funny that we're talking about this right at this moment because I have talked to so many people at work, and because so many people are going away from like cable and going to all these other streaming, that this has really got to adjust somewhere, because so many people wait until the whole season is out now, or they can't watch it live because whatever streaming service they have doesn't have live. So I really wonder how it's going to start adjusting how we see these ratings. I know we've talked about it in the past too, but maybe they're finally going to start catching up and see how it is on all the streaming services and add everything together.
Yeah. Well, apparently they've let the studios know what their ratings are off of the streaming services, but we just don't get word of it to see if it makes any sense to us.
Okay. So, I mean, it sucks because so many shows get canceled where you're thinking, oh my God, this is amazing.
Right.
And it's like, what do you mean you didn't have the viewers? Like, everybody's talking about it everywhere. So, I don't know. It's so weird.
Yes, absolutely it is.
All right. Shall we jump into episode 4?
Let's do it.
Avian flu. Harry gets distracted from his mission while Mike and Liv make a huge discovery.
Distracted is an understatement.
Yes, it is.
Well, we open with Dr. Wendy Beasley from 5 years ago. She witnesses her husband die in a horrific lab accident. Well, aliens killed him, so it clearly wasn't an accident.
Yeah, I'm like, what gas is that? And why is he floating?
Yes. Fast forward to the present where Asta and Darcy visit with Harry after he learns the Housing Council of the Galactic Federation is giving him the boot. He must vacate Earth. Asta believes they can work around this. He can't leave without saving the planet. Suddenly, Heather returns, so she asks if Harry has signed the papers yet. Of course, he's all hot and bothered because blue avians are one of the most attractive species in the galaxy. Every teen boy had a holographic blue avian poster above his bed, Harry included. I'm glad
really
we didn't
weird.
See that.
Yes. But I mean, I think that's weird because later when something is talked about, like, I didn't think your species had feelings, then why would he have that above his bed?
Right. Yeah. Next, Darcy saves the day by tossing a banana through the portal, effectively stranding Heather on Earth. She groans, realizing she must stay impatient while repairs are made to the portal. After she uses Harry's bathroom to change, we see her emerge in her human form. Hey, that human form looks an awful lot like Edie Patterson. Then Ben finds Kate sitting at the kitchen table. She's decided to write a children's book. She has insomnia and is inexplicably afraid of sleeping. Ben asks to see what she's written so far, but Kate refuses to let him take a peek until she's finished. That was probably a good idea.
I mean, I don't think that was strange in that moment because a lot of authors and illustrators feel the same. Later on, I was like, oh, good God. But, you know, right now, and I love him going, oh, you know, if you want to do like a baby elephant, maybe throw in a little sailor's hat. It's like, no, that's not what this is about.
No. Meanwhile, Mike and Liv walk through the woods toward Wendy Beasley's cabin. We learn Joseph is now MIA. Liv drove past his house, and unsurprisingly, it looked like nobody was there. Guess is the Greys got to him. So, of course, we do hope we see him again, because every sci-fi series needs Enver in it. Anyway, after Mike reveals his plan to figure out how to arrest people for their thoughts, we'll return to Patience proper. Yeah, Mike, if you can figure out how to arrest people for their thoughts.
Holy cow, the prisons would be full.
Yes. Harry, Asta, and Darcy are at the diner brainstorming ways Harry's can give the housing council the bird.
Ha!
Yes.
Kayla stops by the booth to chat, and she has a pie for her paralegal, which doesn't go unnoticed by Harry, because he needs a snack for the ride home.
Yeah.
He's like an endless hit.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Asta and Darcy ask Kayla for legal advice regarding Harry's eviction without explicitly naming him. Kayla reveals the person could countersue. There's a thought. Later, Harry meets with Heather in his office at the clinic. He tells her that he plans to countersue the housing council into oblivion. Why? Because Harry is a bad boy. He killed a human once for hurting a seagull. Yeah, and stealing the fry from him and eating it. I was like, good Lord, Harry.
Yes.
He is not good at on-the-spot stuff.
No.
After this brief flirtation, Harry offers to give Heather a checkup. It's not often she gets to be a human, so Harry asks Asa to spin in a blanket for Heather, because apparently this is like alien foreplay. I don't know. It was kind of gross thinking about it.
Yes.
Harry starts feeling weak in the knees while giving a checkup to Heather. Asta walks in on him sniffing Heather's hair. Totally normal, obviously. Asta pulls him aside where he reveals he has feelings for Heather. He's in love. That's why they call it in love, right? Because you feel it in your pants. How does Alan Tudyk stay just like stoic in these scenes? Because it was hilarious in this whole episode. Like the faces that he was making, the little movements. I was like, oh my God.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how he keeps a straight face either.
I want to see all the outtakes from the show.
Yes. Next, Wendy lets Mike and Liv inside her cabin because Liv mentions Peter Bach. They know he was murdered. Meanwhile, Harry writes poetry for Heather. He aptly titles it Bird Boner. Make him our poet laureate stat.
Oh my God. No, please.
No. Asta tries to dissuade him from this newfound obsession. They must stay the course to save Earth from the Greys. Wendy explains she knows that aliens killed her husband. However, she's afraid to open up because they'll probably have tabs on her. Liv reassures her that she's safe with them. She discloses her experience with the UFO as a child and how Peter Bach was the only person who believed her. When Wendy learns about Peter's van, she asks where it is and if they have the key. Mike shows Wendy the vehicle key, thinking that that's what she means. However, she's referring to something else. Wendy kicks them out because Peter wouldn't have given them the actual key if he had trusted them. Then Asta and Dan chat with Jay, who's working on her college entrance essay. It's about her heritage. Since she and Asta were adopted, Jay doesn't know her family roots. However, Dan tells Jay she has a whole family on the reservation. With the wedding coming up, Asta and Dan vow to take Jay there to meet her kin.
That was really sweet with the whole thing. And I'm glad that we have that relationship between the three of them, like, getting closer.
Right.
But I also feel like something may blow up in our faces later.
Yeah.
So, next we see Harry creating a papier-mâché Yellowstone caldera model to show the generals, and of course, General McAllister. He must present his findings to them. Of course, he still doesn't know why the Greys want to make a super volcano erupt, but, he's working on it.
Right.
But he's unable to think of anything except Heather. Harry calls her and then hangs up. I'm like, oh my God, this is so grade school. But she calls him back and asks about her belly button, not knowing what it is. His knees give out again, which cracked me up.
Yes.
Later, we see Darcy run into Elliot while heading to do her laundry, and then she meets his girlfriend, Natalie. Oh, Darcy.
Yes.
She launches into an awkward monologue about how she saved the world with a banana, and she's doing important shit, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That wasn't uncomfortable or anything.
No.
So Natalie then blurts out that they need to leave, so the couple breaks away from the awkwardness, leaving Darcy to scream into her laundry bag in frustration. Then we have Harry delivering his presentation to General McAllister and the other generals. It's a mixture of pining for Heather and an informative speech on the Greys' master plan. Well, mostly pining for Heather. One of McAllister's generals, Aaron Douglas from Battlestar Galactica, and he's been in so many other sci-fi shows.
Absolutely has.
Fort Salem.
Yeah.
He was great as a bad guy there. But anyway, he suggests they go in guns blazing to the Greys' headquarters in Yellowstone. Yeah, with explosions and stuff. Strike when they least expect it. And hello, that doesn't make sense. And Harry's like, they can just freeze you and kill all of you.
Yeah.
Think. But, Harry's like, I don't know why the Greys want to blow up Caldera. We need to figure this out. And McAllister is like, you get 1 week to figure it out.
Right.
You guys didn't know this was happening for 80 years, and he gets a week?
Yeah. Well, next, Asta and Dan take Jay to the reservation for a wedding. Jay finally meets her family. Her grandmother pulls Jay aside for buffalo stew. The happy couple and Kayla poke fun at Asta regarding her relationship with Harry, calling him her little boyfriend. Asta overhears some relatives talking about Mike and Liv rooting through Peter Bach's van. Uh-oh, they're one step closer to linking Harry to Peter's death. Speaking of Mike and Liv, Liv finds a keyhole on the van floor. What could this unlock? Meanwhile, Harry sits in the diner with Mac. He urges the boy to give Heather a note. It's legit something from middle school. Max, who can see Heather in her blue avian form, hands her Harry's note. It asks if she potentially likes a certain doctor as more than a friend. Circle yes, maybe, or no. As Heather approaches the booth, Harry shoos Max away. Heather reveals she's flattered, but they can't date. Harry's species isn't supposed to have feelings. Harry states he can now experience emotions courtesy of the real Dr. Vanderspiegel. Heather doesn't waver in her position. She asserts they'd be better off as friends, but it's abundantly clear she likes him too. Harry feels like dying. Oh, first rejection.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
But it is kind of sad. It's oh wow, he's changing. And then, oh.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the wedding, Asta leaves another voicemail for Harry, begging him to call her back. They need to discuss the Mike and Liv thing. Kayla pulls Asta onto the dance floor as Dan sings and plays a mean harmonica with his band. He is really the coolest. We go back and we see poor Harry walking the streets of Patience past all lovey-dovey couples. It's where did all these couples come from?
Yes.
And he spies Heather through the window of her hotel room in her blue avian form. Oh, poor Harry. Meanwhile, during the night, Ben sneaks a peek at Kate's book. Oh,
yes.
Because he is bewildered at what he sees. Bloodthirsty owls swooping over poor mice. Some pull out the mice's entrails. It's pretty macabre and haunting.
Yes.
Poor Max. He catches a glimpse of the illustration and screams and runs off.
Yeah.
Kate just can't grasp why her drawings are terrifying. It's a children's book. Yeah, like Watership Down, maybe.
Yeah.
Next thing we know, we see General McAllister learning that one of her employees are backing out of the Darling Project. She decides to pull out the big guns. She tracks down David Loga, who is now retired from the military and enjoying yoga class. Sorry, bud, duty calls. That surprised me because I really thought he was going to be out.
Right.
Like done.
Yep. But nope, David Logan is still around. And McAllister knew right where to find him.
Yeah, so she never let him go, really.
No. Then Liv brings Mike a box of magnets she ordered from Amazon Prime. Optimus Prime's wife, of course.
What? Mike, what?
Yeah. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, Mike. One of the magnets on the board proves to be particularly strong. She reveals she found it on the leg of her desk. They watch footage of Joseph rummaging through Robert Hutchins' bag. They see him read Robert's diary. The magnet from that bag makes its way to the desk leg, and Joseph pockets Robert's phone. That might be trouble.
Yep.
Liv realizes the therapist from that diary was killed the day after Joseph found the bag. Liv and Mike race to Wendy's cabin, but they're too late. She's dead. Meanwhile, a little green alien dude stands in Harry's living room where he's trying to fix the portal. Darcy pops in for a visit. She helps Harry with his Caldera display. Then she vents to Harry about running into Elliot and his girlfriend. Darcy reveals that she's happy for Elliot, meaning she loves him and ruined their relationship.
This season seems to be all about bad relationships so far.
Yeah, a lot of them. Ben and Max gently confront Kate at dinner about her scary kids' books illustration. She doesn't understand why they're so frightened of them until Ben shows her a page. Max informs his parents that seeing owls is usually a sign that someone was abducted by aliens. Ben dismisses this as hogwash, but this tidbit unlocks something for Kate.
Not good.
No.
But I do like that they had the discussion. She's like, it's not scary. And when he's like, if one of your students had this picture, what would you do?
Yeah.
And then she like really looked at it and like, oh, okay. So later we see Asta tell Dan that she may or may not be slightly envious of Harry's newfound obsession with Heather. Not romantically, but she's so used to having his attention. But now she has to make room for someone else. And I guess Harry's in love. And then we have Jay enter the diner, thanking them for inviting her to the reservation. She reveals that her mom got into a fight and asks Asta if she can crash at her place for a few days. You know, it could be fun. And this is where I'm thinking things are really going to start blowing up and not in a good way.
Yeah.
So I'm worried. But we have Kate researching the owls and alien abduction, realizing that maybe she was abducted. Okay, yikes. This might be bad. Mike and Liv use the magnet from Robert's bag to activate a keyhole that they found in the van. And a secret compartment opens up, revealing a small leather-bound book. Bingo! We see flashbacks to Peter Bach's death. And before him dying, he passes Robert the magnet. So what is in that book is the question.
Right.
Elsewhere in the present, Darcy looks at photos on her phone of her and Elliot. And again, we're getting the knife turning in our hearts.
Yes.
Heather returns to her hotel room to find a sweet note from Harry on her nest that he just wants her to be happy. It's like, okay, weird, but
yeah.
What's housekeeping going to say when they come in there? That's what I'm kind of wondering.
Yeah. So Heather visits Harry in her blue avian form. He ventures onto his desk in his alien form, and the two make sweet out of this world lurb. Meanwhile, General McAllister asks David about his involvement in the DARPA robotics program. David reveals they would experiment on comatose people. That's when McAllister reveals that Peter Bach is alive.
What?
Well, yeah. Well, in a coma, but alive nonetheless. She believes there's no one better to train to fight the Greys than someone who can see them. Well, there's a plot twist. Will Mike and Liv ever discover that Peter is alive?
Well, he'd look RoboCop-ish if they do.
Yeah. Will Harry and Heather stay together after their night of interspecies passion? And where did Joseph go? Only time and more episodes will tell. We'd love to hear your thoughts on each and every episode this season. Our deadline for feedback is 6 p.m. Eastern every Friday during the season. You can send your feedback be it email or audio to contact us at fangirlzone.com. Please review and rate us on iTunes and any other platform you use for your podcast. With good ratings and reviews, it helps other fans of the show find us, as there are several other Resident Alien podcasts out there. Tell your friends, and we do hope you're enjoying our podcast. And don't forget to check out the other great Fangirl Zone podcasts.
We have so many podcasts. You can go over to our website, www.fangirlzone.com, and find everything on our podcast page, or, like Steve said, everywhere you find your podcast, because we are all over the place. And you can hit our Contact Us page, shoot us a message there, or we are putting all of our information up under our team photos, so you can contact us that way as well. So for this episode of Resident Alien on Sci-Fi Talk,
I'm Steve. How does an alien species dig an underground cavern in the middle of a national park for 80 years and we don't know about it?
And I'm Shawn Fangirl S. And until next time,